including those of the United Kingdom. Non-Lugar and its offshoots not only serve one of the most important aims of US and UK foreign policy, but they have made the whole world significantly safer. As the co-architect and champion of these programs, Senator Lugar deserves much of the credit. Peaceful, constructive engagement has also been a hallmark of his efforts elsewhere in the world. Pakistan is a good example. Senator Lugar was a leading sponsor of the Kerry-Lugar-Berman Act, which provides $7.5 billion worth of help to Pakistan for infrastructure, humanitarian and governance projects, on condition that Pakistan remains a partner in the fight against terrorism. Again, these are efforts which align precisely with our own priorities of long-term engagement. Finally, Senator Lugar has always been a leading proponent of what we believe to be the essential alliance between the United Kingdom and the United States. Throughout his 34 years as a leading member of the Senate Committee on Foreign Relations, 6 of them, of course, as its chairman, he was always available to British ambassadors, ministers, and other senior visitors, all of whom I know from experience prized his counsel very highly. Most recently, he was instrumental in obtaining Senate ratification for the US-UK Defence Trade Cooperation Treaty, which came into effect just last year. By reducing the burden of regulation on defence sales between our countries, that treaty increases the availability of the best equipment for our troops, enhances interoperability, and puts the special relationship into practice in the field of defence trade. For decades, our armed forces trained together and fought together, and now, thanks in large part to the Senator's work, they are in a position to equip together as well. Senator Lugar's unceasing and highly practical efforts over many years have been invaluable, not just to our relations between the United States and the United Kingdom, but to the cause of peaceful, constructive engagement between nations more generally, and to the security of millions of people around the world. And it is, if I may say so, Senator, in recognition of these invaluable services that Her Majesty the Queen has instructed me to appoint you on her behalf Honorary Knight Commander of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire, and to present you with the badge of the honour of the Order, which I so do with immense pride and pleasure, and in offering you my warmest personal congratulations. Thank you. Between us informally, we might call him Sir Dick. Technically, he's not allowed to do that because he's an American citizen, but we all know the truth. Senator, you have the right, but not the duty, to reply if you'd like to do so, and we'd be honoured to hear a few words from you if you'd like to address them.
Mr. Ambassador, this is indeed a moving moment for me, for my beloved wife, Shar, for our sons and their daughters, and sons and their wives, and all of us in the Lugar family. We are so appreciative to all of the beautiful staff members who have worked with us for, in some cases, 20, some cases 30 years of time. We all grew together. We are so grateful for all of the people who have come today from a sense of public service, who have been allied in our various activities that the ambassador so generously illustrated. And we are especially grateful to the United Kingdom. I want to say, just out of personal privilege, that I went to England on Queen Elizabeth with 31 other Rhodes Scholars in the class of 1954. And in those days, it was a 5-day trip, a bonding experience. Wonderful. I was deposited at Pembroke College at night as we drove up from Southampton, as I recall. And there was no one in the college. There was, fortunately, someone, a guardian of the gate who let me in. And thus began my career in England. I must say that immediately it was a situation for a young fellow who had never been outside the United States to realize how big this world is, how many talented people there are, how many controversies there are all over the world, how much joy and how much suffering that occurred in the British Isles. And I chose Pembroke because I knew that there I would be the only American. It would be a case of total immersion. And whereas in Denison, I was a teetotaler, made certain that strict athletic training rules were always observed, no smoke, no drink, no fooling around. I got to Pembroke.
Now the truth comes out.
Four new friends took me into the local bar. And I had a tough decision to make. I drank my first glass of beer. So it was an orientation on all fronts. Let me just say that from that experience, came opportunities to serve elsewhere. I was overwhelmed really by all that I was thinking and doing at that point, that I decided it was important as a point, a personal decision, to go to the American Embassy in London and to volunteer for the United States Navy. And I was told by the officers there, said, Mr. Lugar, you seem to have a reasonably good academic record, but we can't guarantee you'll get into OCS. You just have to wait for a few weeks, see how that works out. But nevertheless, and so came 3 years and 4 months on active duty, and a chance once again to serve my country. But it came about literally through this opening experience of my English friends and all that they brought really to the table in terms of all of our considerations. Finally, the most important moment, and it's especially relevant to this evening, came when, as Rhodes Scholars, we were invited to come to London to have an opportunity to see the Queen of England. It was the same Queen of England that is still serving. This is only about 57 and a half years ago. Amazing situation. I was introduced to the Queen, and I was struck immediately by the fact of her preparation. She says, "Tell me about Indiana." I don't catch the accent quite as she did. That's what she wanted to talk about. So, well, I appreciated it. She didn't want really a 4-page essay. But nevertheless, I was struck by the fact that she was a person who was gracious and thoughtful, and been thoughtful about that occasion, and I've always remembered it. Someone asked me tonight, have you met and visited with the Queen subsequently? And no, I've not had that privilege. Maybe it was the impression, 57 years. Let's leave it at that. People have asked, how do you obtain knighthood? What are the requirements for this? Well, frankly, I don't know. I was just deeply, deeply moved when the ambassador came to visit and said that the Queen of England had asked that this honor be conferred upon me. And I was thunderstruck, but really joyous as I am tonight with all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Ambassador.